What's up, YouTube? Curtis Joseph, back again with yet another educational video to benefit you, the initiate, the viewer. Please remember to like, share, sub if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload new content. Then when you feel led, head on over to Patreon, support me there so you can start digging a lot deeper in regard to cultivating your own personal power. Oh, sometimes I feel like the effing Donald Trump of the occult world. It's like people oppose me just because of who I am. I must be legendary, dude. Everyone wants to beat the legend. The thing is, to beat the legend, you have to have been beaten to learn how to obtain the skill. To be able to do that, you have to put in a lot of flight time. You gotta have a lot of experience. I must be legendary. I don't believe I have to do this video again, but we're going to do a part 2 in regard to this. Can you torment lower dimensional beings? Because this began earlier. I got a comment on this first video from an individual that's never commented on my channel before, but he states, in opposition to my video, saying that you can't harm spiritual beings because they're more subtle than us. They're not physical. We are the lowest of low dimensional beings. In fact, so low that when you go within to the level of what matter is made up of, we get very subtle. Because the further north you go, the closer to south you get. This is why at the atomic level, there is so much space between atoms and molecules, that so much that it doesn't make sense that when I touch this table, my hand doesn't just go through it and scatter the molecules. But it's almost like these two people are working together. Because we get this comment, and then immediately when I respond, this other kid from the past that sparked this video, part 1, started his spiel again. So we're going to break this down. I'm going to lay out some logic, as I always do. Okay? You fools need to recognize that you can't listen to every fantastical story that you see on the internet. And if you listen to the stories, that's fine, but you surely can't take it as gospel truth. But this information is just bullshit. This person says, in general, we already torment lower beings with spiritual hygiene. Banishing and exorcism. We also have wards to block and trap these beings from entering and doing any harm to us. When it comes to harm and binding any spirit, the sickle of Saturn will do its job. Saturn is a spirit. Saturn can be considered a very sinister spirit. So can Mars. You're not going to hurt Saturn, are you? Anyway, I remember when I was possessed by lower beings. Oh, you do? Really? Makes me wonder where your information's coming from. Maybe the parasites in your belly that still possess you. Those are actual demons that need exorcised. And these kind come out only through prayer and fasting, son. I used to experiment on myself to torture them with my spiritual hygiene. I remember having black tourmalines in the sun, and while I was thinking about something else, my head literally forced itself to turn around and stare at the black tourmaline. Forcefully, a bad word came out of my mouth. while I was gazing at it. You're deluded, child. Banishing is telling something to go away. Telling something to go away, it's not tormenting it. When you take a bath, okay, that's hygiene. When you wash yourself, you're not killing germs. No, those germs are going into the water and going down the drain. You are separating yourselves from the germs. No, those germs will continue to multiply. They're going to multiply. They're going to continue to grow and cultivate and colonize. You're not tormenting them. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Blocking and trapping these beings from entering and doing any harm to us. You can prevent lower beings from doing harm to you. Beings that have bad intentions to you, but that is not tormenting them. That's called defensive measures. Like spiritual hygiene. It's a defensive measure. It's not going to torment a being. It makes sure that the being doesn't see it and makes sure that the being can't access you. You can't bind or trap a spirit. I can seat a spirit within a stone. But that is a fracture of its essence that I can access, usually to work in unison with it. How do I know this? Well, it's very simple, really. If I forcefully and maliciously bind a spirit to the stone, like, I don't know, let's say Baal, to imprison him, my buddy Jason can evoke him tomorrow and have full-on conversations and receive teaching and gnosis. That in and of itself automatically proves this hubris wrong. These beings aren't tormented by spiritual hygiene. Not being able to feed off of us because we no longer align with them vibrationally, because we're taking steps to elevate ourselves, is not the same as torturing, binding, and harming a spiritual force. It's kind of like the end of Infinity Wars, when all of the heroes start disappearing and Thanos snaps his fingers, right? That's what happens. These lower dimensional parasitic archons that are not Nema and Sandalphon, right? They're not Lucifer and Belial, or Jesus and Satan. They're not on that polarity. These archonic parasites are the ones in the middle that make you choose between one or the other to keep you disempowered and foolish, like people on this side and people on the other side. They're equally foolish to me. I have transcended the duality. It's time to start preaching truth in this world. Look at nature. Absolute light and absolute darkness are equally blinding. If you wage war on either one, you are a fool. Because this is what allows us to see truth. Are there times when darkness is more prevalent than light? Look to nature. Yes. Does it mean that one or the other is out to get you? No. Are there times when day is more prevalent than darkness and night? Yes. Does it mean one is out to get you or one is opposed to one another? No. In fact, they are working together so that you can see the path before you and walk it effectively. Use logic! Spiritual hygiene. This is an obsession of mine within the occult. It's one of the first things that I teach. People began talking about it en masse, in earnest, when I did. And you think you're going to come here and school me on spiritual hygiene? You really think that? True spiritual hygiene isn't just doing the LBRP, dude. You got to be able to kill the parasites within. You got to have that methodology, that knowledge and wisdom. You got to know what herbs to use. You got to know the amounts. Is there ritual devotion and things that you could do to create synergy with that? Yes, sure. Yeah. But the LBRP isn't even something that banishes negative forces. If it was, you couldn't perform it before conjuring demons and evoking them. Silly goose. If you're going to be a silly goose, you might as well get in the water. Drown. I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you people play in my face. Spirits can be seated within an object, but they're only going to stay if they respect you. You come at an entity like an enemy, they're going to slap you around. And you're going to F around and find out real quick that this shit is real and it's not something that you can F with. There's people in this community that have been cursing people for years and years and years and years, trying to dump karma on others. And nope, it's not how it works. Not how it works. It exists. And it's obvious who is receiving it. So, after I have this discussion, which honestly began, I wasn't really irritated. I'm not irritated now. I am. I can't lie. That would be a lie. Because it's just, let's move forward. This other individual, part one of this video. So why, when you fight these beings, they give up? That means they can feel pain because they can give up the fight. That was a question that ended with a period. I have King Cassius video fighting a demon, and he did win. It's in my first video, Astral Traveling, to fight a boss demon. Have you fought a demon before, or you keep worshiping them? Back in the day, Internet trolls used to be intelligent, man. That's what made a troll. This dude's still hung up on this subject. Stuck in ignorance by will, simply because they want to be able to oppose me. Okay, listen to me. King Cassius, he didn't fight a boss demon. Because I wanted to be sure I understood the context, I went to the video, and it was some demon called Akar. But the term boss demon tells me you play too much Diablo. So why, when you fight these beings, they give up? You don't. You don't fight demons. You don't fight demons. Daemons. Angels or demons. Those teachers on the right side and the left side of humanity. The right hand of God, the left hand of God. You don't fight them. The actual beings that we are at war with are parasites, Cthulhu-like beings beyond the tree that only the dragon can defend us from. God, as most people call it. These parasitic beings, you do kill the antenna within you because they have physical bodies. That's how they control your behavior. This is true possession. Your Catholic exorcism does nothing. It does nothing. After a Catholic exorcism, what do they tell you? Don't ever think of the demon again. Why? Well, because it'll come right back. When you empty and clean the house, it comes back way stronger than it was before. This is biblical wisdom of the craft that we need to learn to apply. I mean, man, there was some broad called Last Frontier Medium that Bonnie used to just despise, that used to, man, claim that archangels were trying to SA her, that talked about like she was some sort of Charlie's Angels broad fighting demons on the astral plane, right? Beating up King Payman and having Archangel Michael wanting to bang her and all kind of, you know what I'm saying? This is what this shit is. It's delusion. And it gives the reality of existence of these powers and forces a bad name because it's anchored in ignorance, if not utter stupidity. Have you fought a demon before, or you keep worshiping them? I don't worship anything. I have a relationship with the cosmos and the fabric of reality because I understand basic hermetics, as above, so below. As within, so without. See, people want to think below is here on earth. No. No. As above, heaven. As below, hell. As within, How we believe in these forces, so with that. How you will experience your life according to that. And if you keep having this mentality where you're going to rely on listening to people that have no idea what they're talking about as if they're speaking gospel truth, you are going to continually be deluded, thinking you are part of some righteous holy war when you're actually doing nothing with your life. That's just a fundamental truth, but let's move forward. This individual says, lower level demons only have the etheric, astral, and mental bodies? Question mark. This is a statement ended with a question mark, which, don't study the occult, dude. You got an IQ of 80. Come on, dog. Astral and mental bodies? Question mark. That's not even a complete statement or question. Those are 4 words randomly thrown together. And he continues. So the archdemons is in the mental bodies. So they all the same regardless of names. Okay, so they are all the same regardless of their names. I don't know where you're getting your information. All beings are scales on the body of the one dragon, yes, unless they are created by archons to destroy the harmony within the world so that they could feed off the bioelectric energy that comes forth through suffering perceived through Maya, the illusion, the sleight of hand magic tricks that parasites, the true satanic demons that we are at war against, create. I don't know where you're coming up with this information. So the archdemons is in the mental bodies. I mean, are they? Yeah, we can encounter them there, but as within, so without, dude. They exist within us, in the psyche, in the intellect, in the emotions. They express ourselves through those, through the body and our actions in the world, But they don't have the other 12 planes of existence, including source. Do you know what the 12 planes of existence? Do you know what are the 12 planes of existence? There's way more than 12 planes of existence, dude. And they're all aligned with the 12 planes of the zodiac. Did you know that? Why, you want to sit here and interrogate me like I'm stupid, and you want to say that they don't exist on these planes? How come there are demons that rule over all of them? I have them listed here. Aries, the Geminus twins, Satan and Moloch. Taurus, Beelzebub. Gemini, Lucifuge Rophakel. Cancer is Astaroth. Leo, Asmodee. Virgo, Belphegor. Libra, Baal. Scorpio, Samael, the venom of God. El, of God. Of God! And they're disconnected from source? It's in the etymology, fool. It's in the name. Sagittarius, Lilith. Capricorn, Nema. Aquarius is Lilith. As a collective nocturnal current. And Pisces can be associated with Nehemoth, the realm ruled over by Nema, as a pre-form, pre-creation, abysmal chaos that is the dark waters that the divine consciousness encroached before it was given form and shape. Demons come from source. There's 72 names of God. Those are mirrored through the 72 demons of the Goetia. It's just common sense, guys. We've got to not come from a place of hubris and stupidity. This is the craft of the wise, not the path of gamers and idiots. You know, I went to this video that was mentioned by this gentleman, and I began watching it, and you can tell it was a confused individual, and through Freudian slips, he really told everybody he was lying, talking about Hunger Games. This demon Akar wanted to have this fight that me and my team have been at war with for a long time. All the attacks in my neighborhood have been created by this demon, right? And he said that this demon wanted to have this battle in a Hunger Games-like arena. Well, the Hunger Games don't really have specific arenas, dude. Like, which one? Because the fighting and the conflict happened all over the place in specific generated worlds. So their inspiration for telling this story, it was made obvious through the Freudian slip of mentioning the movie. If someone's telling the truth, they're not going to mention a movie because they want you to believe it. If somebody is telling you truth, they're not going to compare truth to something fictional. They're just going to tell you the truth. See, these are subtle things that a person of higher consciousness that knows, that is connected to the divine, automatically picks up on, dude. It's higher spiritual intelligence. Don't pretend to have higher spiritual intelligence when you don't, because I will place you. And I'll do it with a smile, in perfect love and perfect trust. Devour, destroy, become or be crushed. I will piss on your hubris. Burn in hell.